On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me two turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. You recognize these lyrics, and you may have heard them on the radio this year. I did not. However, I am confident that we all know this song. After all, it is called the 12 Days of Christmas. I will admit, I'm not always at the best at remembering that there are 12 days of Christmas. This year, on Christmas Eve, I enjoyed a quiet day at home. I was watching some Christmas movies with my dad and sipping some tea. And it was an odd year. I think this was the first year that I remember that I had not been at a church for Christmas Eve. So even though we did some recording for Christmas Eve the day before, something still felt amiss. For you this year, you may think that Christmas felt like just another day. I've heard that a lot recently, and it makes me sad. I think we mustn't forget that we are in the Christmas season, despite everything. I was writing this message this morning, just the day after Christmas, sitting in my pajamas, sipping some cranberry juice, and kind of reflecting on these last few days. I think we need some reminding, and especially this year, of what the 12 days of Christmas are. Perhaps some of you are tempted to take down the tree as soon as possible. I don't know if it was your family tradition, but it was my family tradition that on the day after New Year's, we would take down our tree. But if we wanted to be liturgical, we should leave that tree up for a little bit longer. So the 12 days of Christmas are actually the 12 days after Christmas Day, leading up to Epiphany. Certainly, we don't celebrate every day after Christmas Day like it is Christmas Day, or else that could be a lot of presents. But we should continue to try and keep some form of Christmas joy in that time. So what is Christmas joy? Christmas joy, I think, is recognizing that Christ has come into the world. Some of us benefit from trying to picture the actual event. We take a lot of guidance from the stories in the New Testament, and we take a lot of guidance from traditions, whether they are historically accurate or not. Some of us don't picture the story as much as we try and picture the heart of what's being said. Christ came into the world to guide us. And some of us, who might not attend church that often, we take joy in Christ's coming, because that gives us an excuse to draw together as families and to celebrate at least once a year. So on this second, and perhaps third or more Sunday of Christmas, we know that we still have something to celebrate. We might not give each other partridges in pear trees, or rings, or dancing people, but there's some form of celebration. And it's celebrating and waiting towards that expectation of Epiphany. An epiphany is a funny word, so it might seem a little unfamiliar if you're not very familiar with church lingo. Epiphany is used to mean an eye-opening or an awakening, an awareness. And it's attributed to the day when the Magi arrive to give Jesus gifts. And they realize that he is the Christ. I think this is important because it supports a stronger faith. If the Magi, wise men from the East, have recognized that Jesus is the Christ, then it gives us a stronger faith and more confidence to some of our questioning and saying, who is Jesus? The Magi say he's the Christ. This year, I don't expect us to be gung-ho about the 12 days of Christmas. I honestly would just be happy if many of us said, oh yeah, my Christmas was okay. But I hope we do get to see the beauty of this season and that we are celebrating it in ways that we might usually, or perhaps in ways that we don't. Sometimes I think that our celebrations would be more potent if we celebrated Christmas once every 33 years, but I realize that's not practical. And it really robs us of a lot of joy of the season. I recognize that there are many people who are still searching for their faith, and many Christians who have just come to faith who really benefit from the joy of the Christmas season. These people really do need the joy of Christmas. We need the joy of Christmas. Perhaps once a year truly is enough. So happy 12 days of Christmas, friends. Although we're not together again yet, may this be a continually joyful season for you, and we look forward to the announcement at Epiphany.